subject to, can't see.
Get on 128, you take Capella Road, they just rig it down about a mile, and you're in Lincoln.
After the public comment?
We tackle If BB, I'll put them
You're hot. Okay, thank you. I'm hot too. It is hot. Thank you. You're going. Woo. Yeah.
Yeah, if you need Tom, sit behind you.
Oh, thank you. I've got a couple in my pocket.
I do.
I've got cup sit downstairs. I like cup sit when it's
I don't know what is going on.
too much of the phone around.
I know, and I jinxed myself the other day because I said, don't, please don't, I just hope it's just a touch of something. I'm like, I don't feel good.
Yeah, that one. I had a different one last year. I bought this one this year. Just specially for this occasion.
Who was this guy that's appointed to the parole board? I read in
What's
the
that?
paper.
I would hope so.
He's your boss, wasn't he?
See, Mike's gonna be needing sunglasses though, because he's staring at me. I walked in, Councilor Pinto asked me if it had battery.
Public health, safety, and environment, I got three
Kind of
things.
glows in the dark.
Oh, I know.
I have a third thing going.
We haven't, I gotta chat to the committee to see what their availability is.
You know, I'll skip next week and go the week after.
Maybe the week after.
I can do a
I'd
Thursday
like to
or
give everybody, let's St. Patrick's Day, sir.
next week. Oh, on the Thursday after the council meeting.
Yeah, so I'll have to have it like a day, a night, next
So a
week.
Monday or a Tuesday or
Yeah.
something. I'll call you.
All right,
Because we
yeah.
got three things. We'll get
I don't
them
wanna
in.
have it next week.
I don't do
I wanna be able to give people enough notice.
Do you have a cola next week?
No, I don't.
Okay.
That's why.
But you get a W-2 at
But I'll
the end
schedule
of
them
the
the
year.
following week before the meeting.
So then you have
Whatever you want to do.
zero.
Because
You
you're,
talk
I
to
mean,
finance.
me, you, and you, Joe, and Johnny are in cola.
You do that too.
Public health, safety, and environment.
Oh, yeah, okay.
St. Paul, the only other two.
Pass it along.
You should see it. It's like a Necco factory.
All set.
Oh,
Or Hershey's.
Go.
Well, you know something? I can't have this. I'm gonna save this for later. No. Oh, Jesus. You see this? See this? Open it up.
Barry Neely's not gonna
Look
sit
at that.
down.
Isn't that outrageous? Look how skinny he is, right? I threw a bunch of them. Yeah.
does she, know that you're gonna take it up first? I mean, did you, all right. Cause I told her to check with you. Thank you. Just, so do we have anybody for public testimony then?
We do. Neely, I think got that.
Yeah, you did.
From Mid-Bedford. There you go, ask her.
2
hours to get back.
Okay.
Regular meeting of the City Council held in Council Chambers on Thursday, March 10th, 2011 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on March 4th, 2011 at 9:27 p.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. All councilors are present. President Ryan presiding. Councilor O'Keefe moves to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? Opposed? Everyone, request that everyone rise and please recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public testimony. We had 2 people speaking. The first person decided not to speak, so for the one person speak, TC. Come to the microphone, state your name and address.
T.C. Riley Goggin, 9 Wisteria Street. And tonight I want to talk about a lace, a lease, and a string. And most of us know when we buy sneakers and we tie them up for the first time, we always have extra. We have that bow and then we knot it and double knot it. Sometimes we can unknot it and sometimes we can't. I need some help, Tom. Do you think you could unknot that? Unknot, get all the knots out. I sometimes wonder why they put all that extra material there. Does anyone know, does it have a purpose?
So wrap around a couple of times, TC. Not just once.
Well, in the meanwhile, good, Tom, good. So we got rid of all those knots. Well, next I have here string, just a piece of string. And here I have a lease. Now, this lease could be for my house, your house. It could be for the annex at 120 Washington Street. And this string here could be attached to this lease. Some leases come with strings attached. But also with this lease, we have some knots. Remember the knots on here? These knots could be not enough parking, not enough meeting space, not the money you want to pay for it. Now, here we have a lease, a string. Tom, what do you think you could do with that one?
Do we have Councilor Pelletier
Do you
maybe
want to try that?
Oh, thank you.
Okay. No one wants to talk or touch the strings attached to this lease. My recommendation as a taxpayer is take this lease, rip it up, throw it away, and start all over again. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anybody else? Hearings? None.
Mr. President, I move that we take out of order communications from the mayor. Order authorize the mayor to enter into a new 5-year lease agreement with RCG for the lease of municipal office space commencing April 1st, 2011.
Councilor Lovely is asking to take out of order the lease. Any objection? Okay. Communications from the mayor.
In order to authorize the mayor to enter into a new 5-year lease agreement with RCG for the lease of municipal office space commencing April 1st, 2011.
Mr. President, the mayor here is in the chamber. I'd invite her to come up and address the council regarding the submittal of this lease.
Suspension of the rules to allow the mayor to address the council. Councilor Pinto?
Objection.
Address the council.
Mr. President.
Councilor Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. President. So we have a new 5-year lease agreement before us. Unfortunately, the mayor can't speak to us because a member has objected. So let me just speak on it quickly. As we know, the lease has been before us 3 times. And the last time that the lease was before us, the city council amended the lease to the point where it went against the rules of, or the laws actually, of procurement and the RFP process. So the lease that was before us the last time is the lease that's before us this time as well. It's a 5-year lease with an option that at year 3, should the city build or purchase a property or go into the district court building, which would be a purchase, we have the option of getting out of the lease at year 3. Now, the big part about this lease is, and one that's very important to me, and I think very important to a lot of people, is the money that we're saving. As we know, that this went out for RFP. There were two people that came forward, and we, by law, had to go with the lower submittal. And when you, according to procurement, you can then negotiate with the lower bidder. Can't negotiate with the higher bidder. Can't even talk to the higher bidder. So I know a number of councilors have reached out to the higher bidder. That's not allowed. So anyway, this lease will save us $42,000 per year, with the potential of, over the 5 years, of $210,000. Now, we all know that we have on our desks from the State House News Service, I don't know if anyone's had an opportunity to read it, but there's going to be cuts coming out in local aid from the governor. And this actually says that both the House and Senate are saying not only will be cuts from the governor's budget, but there'll be additional cuts to local aid from the legislature's budget. So we're looking at some pretty grim numbers. We don't know exactly what that number means for Salem, but we know that it's going to be significant. And here we have an opportunity to save $42,000 per year this year, next year, for the 3 years after that. And we're down to pinch and pennies here. It's not about, dollars anymore. It's where can we save pennies. I'm in support of this lease. I have been all along. I don't know if the votes are there tonight to do it, to finalize it, but I hope they are. I hope that people realize that it really does come down to the pennies. We're counting pennies now, and we have to count pennies wherever we can. And if this is the way we can do it, then this is the way we do it. And then this gives us an opportunity to look forward. We have 3 years to find new space, that we can either buy or purchase. And you know what? We can do that. We can do that. We've got a good lease here. That we're out in 3 years if we can do that. We can't be out for any reason. But we're out in 3 years if we can do that. And that may be doable. The district court building may not be available for 5 years, and maybe that's where we want to be. So we will stay here for another 2 years while we finalize that deal and put that together, and then we move in. So we've come down to pennies. So I ask the councilors to be strongly considerate. Thank you.
All right. Before I open it up for more discussion, I just limit to one time you can get up, so put all your thoughts together, because we've went through this enough already, so when you get up, make sure you have all your thoughts, okay? Council Pelletier?
What if I get stuck in the middle? Thank you, Mr.
Sit
President.
there for a while.
I concur with everything Council Lovely says, twofold, okay? The state is going to cut back. We're going to have less money to work with. I just want to make clear that this is the second amended lease that we passed the last time. Yes, we did change it up a little bit, which we thought maybe we're entitled to, but apparently by law we're not because of the procurement process. I hope tonight my colleagues all over will either change their mind or keep their vote the way they are. It's very important we save this money at this time. Moving is not cost effective. It doesn't matter where we move to right now, moving is just not cost effective. Just moving the Munis lines, our Munis cable lines, it's like 10, 15 grand, okay? We're gonna save 20. So I hope, with all due respect, that maybe some of my other colleagues who voted against it will vote for it. As Council Lovely said, we have plenty of time. Council, I think Sarnoski brought up a working group, and the mayor's willing to do that. And let's get this group going, get them started. Let's find a place, okay? I mean, God knows, every office in this building needs more room. City clerk needs more space for storage. The storage of public vital records, which, by the way, got rained on recently, it's very real, okay? And that's what we don't need to rent for storage. We need to buy a place that we can maintain ourselves. Thank you, Mr. President. And I won't raise my hand again.
Thank you, Council Pelletier. Council Fury?
Yes, Mr. President and fellow members, on the federal, President Obama is cutting back oil to the needy. On the state level, we see the budget being discussed now. Council Lovely echoed that sentiment that we cut back by the state. We have to bite the bullet, sincerely. One Salem Green was inadequate to meet the needs of the 20th century. 120 Washington Street is inadequate to meet the 21st century needs. I hope we can use these 3 years to get the right choice, the right location, to have a Stop and Shop type government where local government is here, all the offices in downtown Salem, and we can use that time, that 3-year cushion, to get us in another facility, maybe better for the 21st century. But I think we have to rise to the occasion, bite the bullet, and take this opportunity and look for a new direction, a new vision. And I hope somewhere along the line we go into the district court, because I think that's the most vital and exciting opportunity to keep it in local, keep it downtown Salem. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Fury. Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. First things, let me acknowledge something. Apparently, from what I'm listening to, I broke the law. I've talked to number 2. As a matter of fact, the mayor and I were having a conversation about this today. And we had a little bit of a disagreement as to some of the substance of some of the contracts. And come to find out, the mayor was absolutely right. I thought that, talking to number 2, I was told that the utility costs were going to be we were not going to pay utility costs. To the point where, when I contacted him today, after I talked to the mayor, again breaking the law apparently, he said, absolutely not. You don't pay utility costs with us. He was home. I met him at his office. We went down there, we took out the papers, and you know, the mayor was right. It absolutely said that we're responsible for utilities. He should put his hands up in the air and he said, I don't know how this happens because the other tenants I have here don't pay. I have 1 meter for the whole building. All right. So somehow there was a mistake. And that mistake is costly. Because also in talking with the mayor, I understand that we pay currently $9,000 a month in utilities over here. That's $108,000 a year. That's a lot of money. Especially if we weren't going to pay it with number 2. The moving cost, when I looked at that, we talk about money here. Yeah, the state's cutting back. Yeah, we all read it. It was on our desk tonight as we got here, but that wasn't anything new. We knew that was coming anyway. Right? Because, I mean, we've known this for quite some time, that the state's in trouble. You hear it on the news every day. Their revenues are down. If their revenues are down, it's a trickle-down effect. We're going to get hurt. That's not a problem. We can't change the mistakes that have been made, and toward that end, the mayor's absolutely right. This is the best deal for the money, right, at the moment. But that's the problem. The changes that we made the first time it was before us, the changes we made the second time it was before us, we have the landlord telling us what options we can get out of the contract early with at 3 years. The first time it was, I don't know, I don't even remember what it was. No, the first time it was go to one specific site. And if that site didn't work, you can't break the lease. The second time that it was before us, it was if you build or purchase. We have so many things that we have as options here. We have the old Nomkeg Bank building. We have Red Lion Smoke Shop, the upper floor is across the street. If anybody has a crystal ball to tell me what options are going to come before me, I'd like to know that, because then we could really say, okay, that's not a bad deal. However, limiting it to purchase or build doesn't open up our options. And I'll be darned if I'm going to vote for anything that's going to say, you can only get out of this lease if you do what I tell you. It's either purchase or build. What about if we found something that was leased with an option to buy? Well, that doesn't constitute purchase or build. No matter how we word it, that has to come out. And apparently, that's not going to come out. I want to save money here like everybody wants to save money. That's not the point. It's just that at this, right now, from what I'm reading, what we changed on the second round, taking out that option and just saying, you know, we can get out of this after 3 years, provided we give the 12-month requisite notice, and we pay the penalty for getting out below 5 years. All right? Just let it stand. What difference is it of the landlord if we find some other option that's not A or B? What happens if we found C? I don't even know what C would be. But what happens if we found C? And for that reason, I cannot support this.
It's not that I'm against saving the money, because I'm not against it, because Lord knows, we need to try to find it someplace, somewhere, somehow. But I don't want to have my hands tied, and this is what's doing it. All right? We have the option of looking around. I'm hoping something works here. It's too bad that whoever was doing the study of the two bids that came through didn't look at it deeper and ask about, well, even if you did pay the utilities, how much are you paying here, how much are you paying there? My understanding is, again, number 2 was coming in at about $35,000. If we did pay, it would have been $35,000 a year, not 108. So, I mean, somebody didn't do their homework here. And yeah, I broke the law apparently by asking questions to find out what was going on. Thank you, Mr. President.
Council Sosnowski, Council Ronan.
Yes, Mr. President. Nails on a blackboard irritate a student. What really irritates me is when I hear people use fallacious legal arguments to bolster their position. This matter's been before us twice, not just once. It's been before us twice. We have a rule that says in black and white, any matter that we defeat won't be brought before us in the same calendar year. This lease came before us for the first time and was defeated. It was then the mayor's position that she was bringing a separate matter. Again, it was the same lease, same parties, same rental term, same term of years, came before us again at our last meeting for the second time. She used the legal argument at that time that she could bring the lease before us again because she had changed it. She had added an escape clause. So we all voted unanimously. We all wanted to change the language of that escape clause, and we did that. We just changed the language of the escape clause and then voted on the lease. All 11 of us unanimously chose the language that we would put forward. Now, the administration is telling us that we did something illegally because we changed the lease, even though she had used that very same argument to bring the defeated lease again before us. So now we're being asked at the 3rd consecutive meeting to vote on the very same lease. Same terms, same parties, same rent. It's a bad lease. It was a bad lease when we first defeated it. It was a bad lease that we tried to make better last week. We should let our votes last week stand. We shouldn't essentially give somebody three shots to cram a bad lease, down the city's neck by, coming in to essentially negotiate. There's only 2 parties on this lease. There's the city of Salem, who is represented by us. We're the representative body for the city of Salem. So we are one party to this lease. The second party is the landlord, the RCG group. And essentially, what's before us today is the mayor has suggested that the lease that we approved her to sign last week is not favorable enough to the landlord, to the RCG group. So she's asked us to change that. I say we stand by what we did last week and we vote against the lease here tonight. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Council Ronan. Councilor O'Keefe.
Through you, Mr. President, I'd like to ask permission of the council to allow me to question the city solicitor on this matter.
O'Keefe would like suspension of the rules.
No, I object. Well, Mr. President, how
I'd like to respectfully request an opportunity to ask Councilor Pinto to withdraw his objection to allow me to address the council. There are 11 people here. We've worked hard on this. It's an important matter. I always give you the courtesy and respect to talk with you. I stayed late so I could purposely talk with you. You've never objected to allowing me to address an issue, Councilor Pinto. I'm going to ask you, please. I've worked on this. People are using my name. They're citing arguments. This is important. Allow me to at least give me the courtesy to address this body about this issue.
Mr. President.
Is there anybody here who's going to allow me to speak to something that's pretty important? $42,000 a year at risk?
I will.
Mr. President.
I will too.
Absolutely.
President.
Personal privilege, Mr. President?
Mr. President.
One at a time, please.
Mr.
Councilor
President,
O'Keefe has the
I
floor.
move that the council be polled, allowing the mayor to speak on this matter by roll call.
But, I mean,
I'm asking you, Counselor Pinto, please.
Suspension on the lease, suspension of the rules to allow her to speak.
it was already objected to it. If one person objects, we can't, unless he withdraws the objection, there's nothing we can do.
Well, by roll call, that's a separate matter.
I can ask the city clerk, if someone objects, suspension of the rules, no, cannot speak unless he withdraws it.
Personal privilege, Mr. President?
Mr. President,
Council Lovely.
it's just not right that that the legislative body and the administrative body treat each other like this. This is rude. I mean, you know what? We allow each other to speak. We're doing the people's business, not our business. It's the people's business. The mayor has something to say to us. We should allow her to say it. I want to hear what she has to say.
Mr. President.
Wait, Council Pelletier.
Yes, thank you. For Councilor Ronan to lambaste the mayor and object to the city solicitor coming back with a ruling for us,
Or a
it's wrong.
response.
It's totally wrong. And I will ask Council Pinto to suspend his objection. Because I think that's wrong, because he was going to get up, and these other guys were going to get up, and they were going to oppose it anyway.
It's a council's right to object. I mean, might not
understand.
agree with it, but, I mean,
I understand, but under personal privilege, I can say what I need to say, too.
Counselor Pinto, you will not withdraw your objection?
Council Pinto.
Mr. President, this matter's been before us. This is the third time. It's the third time
I've
this
never
matter.
addressed you
Excuse
on
me,
this
Mr.
matter.
President, I have the floor. I have the floor.
Yep.
By right, Mr. President, the mayor shouldn't even be speaking, be allowed to speak. I objected. This matter's been before us 3 times. Okay? We've heard it 3 different times. We voted it up once, we voted it up twice, and according to our handbook, our city council handbook, no matter is supposed to come in front of us a second time, let alone a third time, okay? So I am going to uphold my objection to the mayor speaking, because this is the 3rd time this particular issue is in front of us, and I think it's wrong. Thank you.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President. I've served in this city council, had the privilege of 4 mayors, starting with Mayor Collins, Mayor Zoll, Mayor Yusevich, Mayor Driscoll. It's outrageous for us not to, allow the executive to speak to the legislative group. The mayor runs the city, not the city council. Some of us feel they should run the city council or run the city. We don't. The mayor runs the city. And she wants to be here to speak. I think we should let her speak for the people as they elected the mayor. Let her speak. I think it's outrageous conduct that we're doing here. Unheard of for us to do this.
Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a conflict in my mind here. The first one is, I would like, through a point of personal privilege, Mr. President, I would not be opposed to listening to the mayor speak, because I think she has every right to do that. It is respectful to let her speak. However, we don't have an option. The council rule book says once an objection is made, all further debate ceases and you move on to the next subject. We cannot choose which rules we obey or disobey.
It can be
It's that
withdrawn.
simple. Thank you.
Well, Mr. President,
Councilor O'Keefe.
point of
Councilor Pinto
order. We
is
could
not-
revoke the rule tonight.
Councilor O'Keefe, you don't have the floor.
Oh, all right.
Please sit down. Councilor Pinto objected. He's not going to withdraw it. There's nothing we can do. So let's move on. Does anyone else want to speak on
Move the
the
question,
lease?
Mr. President.
Anyone else?
You wish to speak?
I do not wish to speak. No, thank you.
Mr. President? I
Councilor
move the
O'Keefe.
question then, and
Okay. You
dispose of the matter,
By roll call
once and
vote.
for all. Roll call.
Council Pelletier. Excuse me. The record, please note that Council Pelletier has left the chamber.
Move the
Okay,
question.
we'll move the question by roll call vote.
President, I ask to be excused because I'm not feeling well.
Councilor O'Keefe asked to be excused because he's sick.
Council Pelletier.
All right. Going to move the question by roll call vote. Madam City Clerk, can you please call the roll?
We did define the vote, sir. The ayes and nays.
The vote is to, a yea would be to authorize the mayor to enter into a new 5-year lease agreement with RCG for the lease of municipal office space commencing April 1st, 2001, based on the information that we received tonight.
Counselor Sosnowski?
Clarification, Mr. President, which yes,
Yes.
as approving as what's
Approving the
before
lease,
us?
no, is you're against the lease.
No.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ronan?
No.
Counselor Prevey?
No.
Counselor Pinto?
No.
Counselor Pelletier? Counselor O'Keefe?
A, yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Lovely?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes. On the question of authorizing the mayor to enter into a 5-year lease agreement for 120 Washington Street, 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 6 in the affirmative, 4 in the negative, 1 absent. The motion is defeated. Councilor O'Keefe.
Well, I was going to move for immediate reconsideration. Perhaps someone will change their mind.
O'Keefe asked for immediate reconsideration. All those in favor? One,
Favor.
2, 3,
Favor.
4, 5,
Favor.
6. All those opposed?
Opposed.
4 opposed. Councilor O'Keefe.
I move we return to regular order of business.
All right. Councilor O'Keefe moves to return to the regular section of the agenda, which is appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Jamie Match to serve as a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals with a term to expire May 1st, 2013.
Councilor Sosnowski.
Held under the rules, Mr. President.
Councilor Sosnowski, hold that under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have mayor's appointment of the following to serve as constables with the following terms to expire. Gerardo Spagnolo, term to expire February 11th, 2012. Garcia Linton, term to expire February 25th, 2012.
Councilor Lovely.
Move they be received and placed on file.
Councilor Lovely moves that they be received and placed on file. All those in favor? Opposed? Communications from the mayor. Councilor,
We have a transfer of $63,054.20 from Human Resources Collective Bargaining Reserve to several fire department accounts.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that these matters be moved to referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Okay, on acceptance of the report, all those under discussion?
No discussion, Mr. President. We'll take them up in committee. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Further communications from the mayor?
We have an appropriation of $7,500 from fund balance free cash to the following veterans account: Veterans Day and Ground Maintenance.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also move that these matters be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance to report out at the next meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Need to vote on that?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the last one, too.
Okay. On the last two, we go back, we'll vote on this one first. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? On the other one for the fire department? All those in favor? Opposed? Mayor's information page.
We have a communication from the mayor with update from the Parking Study Working Group regarding the recommendation to be submitted at the next council meeting in order to discuss with council members whose districts will be most impacted.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this matter be received and placed on file.
On discussion?
On discussion, Mr. President. At this time, it would be moved and I would leave it up to the will of the president to figure out who would be in this working group. I mean, obviously, Councilor Sosnowski, Councilor Pelletier, and myself represent a lot of downtown, so I think that at minimum, the three of us, but I'll leave it to your will. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilors McCarthy's motion that be moved, and received and placed on file. All those in favor? Opposed? Motions, orders, and resolutions. Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Cheryl, do you want to read that?
Year-to-date. On your desk.
Ordered that the year-to-date budget report dated January 31st, 2011 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
No discussion.
No discussion, Mr. President.
Council McCarthy's motion to move the year-to-date budget report to the Committee on Administration and Finance. All those in favor? Opposed? Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. President.
City of Salem, City Council, March 10, 2011, ordered that the enclosed tag day application be granted Salem High School Boys Lacrosse, March 19, 2011.
Discussion.
Under discussion, Mr. President, this usually goes to the Committee on Ordinances, Licensing, and Legal Affairs, but given the late date, the request, March 19th, there's not enough time to do it. I move for approval so we can allow the boys lacrosse team to have their tag day. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Lovely moves for approval of the tag day application for Salem High Boys Lacrosse to be held on March 19th. All those in favor? Opposed? Councilor Pinto.
Mr. President, City of Salem and City Council, March 10th, 2011, ordered that the Committee on Public Health, Safety, and Environment meet to discuss the status of hiring a Board of Health agent, and the chairperson for the Board of Health, Dr. Barbara Paremba, be invited in discussion.
On discussion, Councilor Pinto.
Thank you, Mr. President. Recently, Mr. President, I think there was an ad put in the paper not too long ago. The city had put in, I think in the Globe and the News, on the hiring or at least interviewing of a health agent, which we've been without for, I think, over 2 years now since Joanne started retired. And I actually had a couple of other issues that will be coming into public health, safety, and environment. So I thought at the same time I would have the chairperson of the Board of Health come in. My understanding is that there may have been some interviews, but just to kind of give us a status as to where they are and what they do, because for the people at home that don't know, the Board of Health, the health agent, is the only department head that the mayor does not appoint or hire. The board hires the health agent. So, like I said, I would like to have the chairperson in and just kind of give us an update. Thank you.
Councilor Pinto. Councilor O'Keefe.
Through you, Mr. President, I'd like to ask the council at large, I remember that committee. So is this a fishing expedition? What are we going to get out of this meeting with the chairman or chairwoman of the Board of Health when the board makes the appointment? I'm looking at the ordinance. It says that Board of Health shall appoint, subject to civil service laws, rules, and regulations, agents who shall act for it and who shall have all of the... What has the city council got to do with the hiring of an agent of the Board of Health? Zero. This is the mayor. We're getting in the mayor's and the Board of Health's prerogative. They're the only board that can do this in the city, to my knowledge, in the ordinance. Everyone else got to come to the city council except the Board of Health, which is regulated really by the state. They control all the health laws of the state because of all the problems they've had 100 years ago. So here we are going to get ourselves involved in something else. It's not our jurisdiction. It's the Board of Health to decide what they're going to do. And if they want to, they'll send us a letter. But I'm on the committee. I don't want anything to do with this.
Councilor Pinto.
Mr. President, thank you. I had actually received a couple of phone calls from constituents that asked about the status of a Board of Health agent. You know, taxpayers, people that put us here, people that vote for us, put us in office. Councilor Pinto, what's going on with the health agent? That's why I'm bringing it in, because I think the people deserve an answer as to what's going on. Not me, the people, the taxpayers that put us here. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Rejoinder?
No,
I believe Councilor...
Councilor
through you,
O'Keefe.
Mr. President.
Wait. Councilor Perry had his hand up.
Liaison to the liaison council to the Board of Public Health and on the Board of Health. I too agree with Councilor O'Keefe. I think we're micromanaging. It's not our role and responsibility legally or morally to get involved in the selection of a director of health. The last administration, previous to this administration, found out the hard way. It is the Board of Health. The buck stops with them, not with us. We should not micromanage. As a member of the Public Health and Safety Committee that this is going to, I too object, as Councilor O'Keefe. It doesn't belong in our domain. As the Board of Trustees of the Salem Public Library pick the director of the public library, we don't pick the director of the public library. We shouldn't have to pick this legally. So I believe it's in the wrong jurisdiction, and it is a fishing expedition.
Councilor O'Keefe, Councilor Fury, as the liaison, what is
Yes.
what is the status of the health agent? You've been to the meetings?
The status now is that he is an acting chairman. He's the acting director of the Board of Health. And it's their capacity and their role and responsibility to decide whether to go in any direction. Thank you.
What is the status of the hiring?
They have not made anything official in the meetings that I've gone to in the last year and a half.
Okay. Councilor Prevey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I haven't heard anything out of Councilor Pinto's mouth that suggested that we were trying to manage something, we were trying to make a decision about something having to do with that. What Councilor Pinto, if I heard him correctly, what he's asking for is to have a meeting so we could have the chairwoman in to give the council an update. You know, for all the stuff about let's not micromanage, well, we do manage, because come budget time, when we come up here, we're going to have the health department in front of us going through everything line by line by item. That's micromanaging. That's our job. And because the health department comes in front of us and asks us for the appropriation, I think it is well within our right to ask questions about what the status of the health agent is. Why? Just by the simple fact that if a health agent is hired, we're going to have to appropriate the money for that position anyways. Fully within our scope. So I don't understand the objections. It seems completely out of sorts. Thank you.
Councilor O'Keefe, then Councilor Sosnowski.
Mr. President, members of council, I don't want to pin Councilor Pinto on. He said that there's no action, I believe, or something on the Board of Health. There's an acting director, David Greenbaum, and just this week alone, I received 3 citations that he issued in properties in my ward. So it is ongoing. It is functioning wonderfully.
I didn't say it wasn't.
But he's acting health agent. What's wrong with that?
I didn't say it wasn't functioning, Councilor. I
Well,
never said that.
your order here doesn't say anything about inviting, what I have in front of me says nothing about inviting the chairperson of the Board of Health.
That's exactly what it says.
That isn't what it says here.
This
No,
is
what
the-
I have on the agenda item,
That's,
what does it say on the agenda item about that?
we don't have to list the word for word, the agenda item, what's on his order. We have to list the subject matter and make it clear and defined what the subject matter is.
Well, if
The
an
full
order...
order is right
Mr.
here.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Clarification by the city clerk. If someone was to pick this up online as such, they would not know that the agent of the Board of Health, the chairperson was coming. Correct? Well, would they find that online?
No.
All right,
Meeting
all
is
right, I
posted,
won't badger
Councilor.
the city clerk up on this matter.
Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. I totally agree with Councilor Fiore and Councilor O'Keefe that this is not our business to be doing anything at all with the director of the health department. However, that's not what I understand this order is. This order is just simply an inquiry. Where are we? Are we going to be getting someone appointed? I mean, I agree with Councilor Prevey. This order doesn't violate anything, and we're not micromanaging a thing. I get calls, I haven't had them recently, but I do get calls, what's the status? How come he's only an acting health agent? How come it's this? I'd like to know the answer to that. I'm not even on the committee, but, someone calls me, I'd like to have answers to things like that. Right? And I don't, I totally do not think that Councilor Pinto wants to put his fingers where they don't belong. He just wants to have an answer to a simple question. What's going on? Thank you.
Hold on. He could, he can do it this way, or he can call over, I don't know if he has called out to the health department, find out what the status is, or Councilor Ferry can find out, but Councilor Ronan, you have the floor.
Mr. President, last year when we were going over the budget, we sort of got into this a little bit because we came up to David Greenbaum's salary, and we were appropriating a salary in case they hired a full-time health agent. Well, not that he's not full-time, but another health agent, and it was sort of an issue that was up in the air. As a ward counselor, one of the people that I probably have to work the closest with is the health agent. And in my experience, David Greenbaum has been very helpful. I suggested that we bump his salary and make him, take away the acting and make him health agent. But again, I agree with you. It is not in our purview to appoint the health agent itself. But again, that's not really, I think, the intent of this particular motion before us. It's simply to send this to committee to find out what is going on with the appointment of a health agent or not. Whether or not it's going to be, we're going to stay with David Greenbaum as acting health agent, whether or not he'll be appointed as our health agent, or whether we appoint somebody else. I do think that we have the right to ask those questions, and I know that there was some contention earlier, but I don't think that this really is an issue that should cause any division among the council. This is somewhat benign. As I read the motion, it's simply to have this matter in committee to find out what the status is on the appointment of a health agent. Not that we're appointing anyone. So I don't have a problem with it. Thank you, Mr. President.
But couldn't you just make a phone call or have you and they haven't answered, Council Pinto? Or Council Pinto?
Well, my understanding was, Mr. President, was that there were ads put in the paper, the News and the Globe, I believe, for a health agent. And I'm assuming that people answered the ads, or at least that's what I'm assuming. And that's why, like I said, we do not hire the health agent. I know that. Mm-hmm. But I get calls from people, just like Councilor Sosnowski said, why do we have an acting health agent that we've had for 2 years, over 2 years? So my intent was to just bring the chairwoman in because the board elects, and maybe they had some applicants in for an interview. That's my intent, just to get a status. Now, do I want to make a phone call to the chairwoman of the Board of Health? No, because I feel that my other councilors that are going to be voting on the budget, come budget season in A&F, may have questions that they want to ask. So that's why I brought it in, Mr. President. Thank you.
Every right to do that. Any other questions? Any other discussion? Council Sergeant.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I'm going to take mine.
Just as a comparison, when we had an Acton purchasing agent, we had many, many meetings and discussions over what was the status of that, at the request of some people other than the city council. Now, you might call that micromanaging, and I wouldn't. It's just people asking questions that need to be answered. Right? We just passed all kinds of sunshine ordinance, open meeting laws. What would be the problem with having a meeting to ask questions? I mean, we all grew up hearing that the only dumb question there is the one that's not asked. Some people have approached councilors and have questions that need to be answered. They'd like to come in here and ask them. I don't think it's up to us to decide if they're good or bad questions. They need to be answered, and we haven't had any meetings on this. We had multiple meetings on the purchasing agent, and that worked out fine. So let's just have a meeting and ask a few questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Move the question.
Okay. On Council Pinto's order to the Committee on Public Health, Safety, Environment meet to discuss the status of hiring a health agent. All those in favor? Yeah. Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries. 2 opposed. Councilor O'Keefe, can you take the...
Yes, sir. Jerry, that's Council Ward 4. Jerry Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, in the council, March 10, 2011, ordered that the Director of Park, Recreation, and Community Services raise the Irish flag at Riley Plaza on March 15th, 16th, 17th, 2011 in honor of St. Patrick's Day.
Remarks, Councilor?
Discussion. This order is brought in every year. It was started by former councilor Leonard O'Leary, who was the Ward 4 councilor for many years before me. And actually, this was his seat, so it's pretty fitting. And I'm just following this and wishing everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Any other remarks? Any member of the City Council wish to follow up? Aaron, go broad, Councilor. All in favor? Opposed? So voted. Unanimous. Wish to retain
yes.
Councilor?
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor O'Keefe. Councilor Ronan?
Yes, Mr. President, I have a proposed ordinance, City of Salem, in the year 2011, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking, limited time. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Linden Street, in front of number 55, for a distance of 20 feet, handicapped parking tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by the city charter.
Under discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, this is a constituent of mine on Linden Street who suffers very badly from arthritis. We had a long conversation. She finds it very difficult sometimes if she can't park right in front of the house to get her groceries in, up the stairs. I did have some sympathy with her. I have a sister who suffers from rheumatoid arthritis, which this woman also does. And there are days where it is just very difficult to move. So I'm asking for this one handicap spot to accommodate her. And I'd ask for a unanimous first passage.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries for first passage. Any further motions, orders, and resolutions? Councilor McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, City Council, March 10th, 2011. Ordered that the Committee of License, Orders, and Legal Affairs meet to discuss the issue of resident parking along Derby Street, and the following be invited: Lieutenant Brzezinski, the Parking Board, and Mr. Hacker.
Thank you. Under discussion?
On discussion, Mr. President, briefly, the ordinance with regard to residents parking is a difficult ordinance, and is one that there's a bunch of residents on Derby Street that would like me to take a look at, so we're going to refer it to committee. Derby Street is difficult in the sense that it's Derby Street itself is a combination of both residential properties and businesses. So therefore, to restrict the parking specifically on Derby Street would basically be detrimental to the businesses that have been there for a long time. That being said, the way the ordinance is written, some addresses which have boundaries that on the side streets that are restricted qualify. So it leaves a bunch of residences on Derby Street out that don't have the ability to park. It's difficult, so I've talked to Council Lovely about bringing this in, so we're gonna have a meeting. I'll invite specifically some of the members of Derby Street that have expressed some interest to me. Anybody who would, obviously it's a public meeting, and we're gonna take a look at it because it's a unique situation. I don't know, and I'll invite any councilor that will either contact me or come in and weigh in, because Derby Street's unique in the fact that every side street off of Derby Street is restricted parking. So therefore, if you live on Derby Street and all the spaces along Derby Street are filled, you can't park on one of the side streets because they're all restricted. But if you live on one of the restricted side streets, you can park on Derby Street. So it's kind of a catch-22 situation going on there with some of the residential addresses down there. So we're going to bring it in and have a discussion and see if there's any way that we can deal with this within the ordinance, or whether or not it has to be addressed. We'll take that up during committee.
Are you bringing in ordinance, license, legal affairs?
Ordinance, license, legal affairs. I'll co-post out of the committee hall just in case some of my members that aren't on the committee that represent wards that have resident sticker parking issues that may be similar to the ones I've just described can come in and weigh in as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. Any further discussion on this? On Councilor McCarthy's motion to bring in the parking issue on Derby Street and have a meeting with the ordinance, license, and legal affairs, co-posted with the committee of the whole. All those in favor? Opposed? Any further motions, orders, and resolutions? Councilor Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, City Council, March 10, 2011, ordered that the temporary 6-month trial for extended hours of the operation for Boston Hot Dog Company be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs to consider making the trial period permanent.
Discussion?
Yes, apparently this gentleman's, the owner of this business, his extended hours, which are 7 p.m. to 2 a.m., expired April 1st. He actually brought this in afternoon on Tuesday, so it was too late to put it on our agenda for discussion. So I'll have to put it into committee. We'll have a committee meeting right away, invite the gentleman in, and then report it out, hopefully at the next meeting, after we consider it. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Lovely. Any, no discussion. On Councilors Lovely's motion to put the request Boston Hot Dog to make their hours permanent, the temporary hours permanent, meet with the ordinance license legal affairs. All those in favor? Opposed? Any further motions, orders, or resolutions? None. Committee reports. Council Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, March 10th, 2011. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, to whom is referred the matter of granting certain licenses, has considered said matter and would recommend approval. Secondhand clothing, Refine, 72 Washington Street.
On acceptance of report, all those in favor? Opposed? Under discussion?
No discussion, Mr. President.
No discussion. Adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? Opposed? Further committee reports, Council Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, March 10, 2011. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, to whom is referred the matter of a hearing on the denial of taxi operator license for Evangelist Rodriguez, has considered said matter and would recommend that the committee grant, that the council grant a temporary license to Mr. Rodriguez up to June 30th, 2011, and that Officer Page administer and monitor Mr. Rodriguez, and that the committee revisit this matter on or before June 30th, 2011.
Thank you. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? Under discussion?
Mr. President, this actually was discussed in executive session, so I'm really not at liberty to give any of the details. But the committee did meet with Officer Page, with this gentleman, Mr. Rodriguez, who's actually been a longtime cab driver in Salem. And it was at the committee's recommendation, majority vote recommendation, that we grant him a temporary license, that we revisit the matter in June.
Thank you. On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? Opposed? Further committee reports? Councilor McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, March 10, 2011. The Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of an ordinance relative to the compensation for the mayor, has considered said matter and recommend keeping the compensation the same.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? Under discussion?
On discussion, Mr. President, we had a committee meeting this past week, actually it was last week, and basically we had a discussion with this this order and the next one coming in with regards to compensation, and it was the will of the committee, the recommendation of the committee actually, that the compensation for the mayor's position be maintained the same. And I use those words, mayor's position, because it's, as we'll talk about a lot, it isn't about who's sitting in the position now, it's about the position itself and how that position should be compensated. That being said, when we looked at this, the matter was brought out, the fact that just a couple of years ago, we elevated the mayor's salary from $80,000 to $100,000, which is about a 20% jump, which kind of brought it in line with what other mayors right around us are getting, seem to get. So it seems to be, your words from committee, in the right ballpark. So it is the recommendation of the committee that the compensation right now stay the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. Further discussion, Councilor Fury?
Yes, please. I was the sole member of the committee to vote against the situation, because I believe there's no time to, it's a good time to give a raise. In my own personal situation, in the last 4 years, I never got a raise in 4 years of teaching situation because the economy was bad. There's no good time. And in my 25 years of public service, there is no good time, even in public service, the elective office, to give a raise. But I think we need to send a message. And if the superintendent's making more money than the mayor, the police chief is making more money than the mayor, some members of the police department are making more money than the mayor, some members of the school department are making more money than the mayor, I think that sends the wrong message. I think we need to send a strong message. That's what I was really hoping over the years, that $80,000 salary that Councilor McCarthy told us about was frozen for 20 years. No mayor got more above than about Harrington and Usavich and Salvo. That was frozen. It took us a long, long time to move it. And that was a big jump from $80,000 to $100,000 in time-wise and money-wise, but time-wise and innocent. I think we need to set a mechanism to keep it professional, keep it the position as of the mayor, not necessarily who's serving as mayor, but the position, and make it a professional. A 4-year mayor, executor, he or she is the chairperson of the school committee and the executor of a over $100 million budget, and overruns a city that's in the 21st century. So I think we need to send a message, and I'm disappointed we didn't use this window of opportunity. I don't think we have that window of opportunity as it's written in the ordinance to do it again next year. It was written in the ordinance by Council President Ryan back then to open it up now, January, February, March, and vote on it in April. So I don't know whether we have that window of opportunity again. And we're going to delay and defer a very special situation, the office of the mayor professional. So I disagree. I'll be voting against this situation as I did in subcommittee. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Perry. Any further discussion? Okay, on adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? Opposed?
Opposed.
Council Perry opposed. Further committee reports? Council McCarthy? Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, March 10, 2010, the Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom was referred, co-post of the Committee of the Whole, I'm sorry, to whom was referred the matter of an ordinance relative to compensation for the school committee, has considered said matter and recommend that the school committee's compensation be tied to the mayor's compensation at 6%, and refer the matter to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs to amend the ordinance.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
On discussion, Mr. President. We had a lengthy meeting the same night we talked about the previous order. And basically, as written in the ordinance, the school committee is compensated as it currently reads, is compensated $2,500 for expenses, and that's the way it reads. Dr. Walsh at that time was in. We have Dr. Crane, a member of the school committee, with us tonight. If anyone wants to ask you. But that being said, during committee, we looked at it and said, okay, since the ordinance hasn't been changed since 1989, the compensation for those positions, and once again, I refer to the positions. I don't refer to the individuals, because as I sat on Licenses and Orders of Legal Affairs a few years ago when we did amend the ordinance with regards to the mayor's position and increase in salary, we did so in such a way, if you read the language, that the language was written so it wasn't going to go into effect tomorrow. It was going to go into effect after the election cycle as of January 1. So that's why out of the Administration and Finance Committee, our recommendation is then to move it over to the License Orders of Legal Affairs to look at the language and how to amend the language to address what we talked about. Now, I don't like to address what's written in the newspaper usually, but some of the headlines we've been reading are totally off base with what regard to as the committee looked at. We had Dr. Walsh in there. In no way did we want to start triggering healthcare or pension with regards to these positions. Okay, we made that very clear, and that's why this matter, once referred from our committee over to Council Lovely's committee, and for their wisdom, they will have the city solicitor in, make sure that we have the language correct and the amounts correct in such a way that it doesn't trigger those things. Because we're very well aware of the firestorm that's out being said with regard to healthcare costs, pension costs for city employees, and we were very cognizant of that when we listened to them. But also at the same time is that those positions, the compensation for those positions hasn't been adjusted since 1989. So we weighed in a lot of factors, and as people ask me on the street, and I get phone calls and emails, listen, our recommendation right now is 6%. When it goes over the License and Legal Affairs, and when it comes back to the floor, that compensation could go up, it could go down. That would be the will of the body. But right now, the recommendation coming out of committee is to send it over. This is what we considered. And then License Orders of Legal Affairs will put the proper language in there to address everything that we've talked about, and then put it back in front of this body for a vote sometime down the road. Now, I'm not sure if anyone has any questions now of Dr. Crane, or Dr. Crane can just wait, because it is going to be back in committee within the next couple of weeks. So, and I want everyone to be very aware of the fact that any action that this body takes, as we did the last time, will not take effect until January 1, so after the next election cycle. So it's not like we're not giving as I tried to address an email that was today, I'm not trying to give anybody specifically a raise. I'm trying to give the positions a raise. Whoever may be sitting in those positions, because that's what changes. And that's why 2 years ago we were very clear when we talked about the mayor's position. It wasn't about the current mayor, it was about the position. So that's what we're looking at right now. So the recommendation of committee is we voted unanimously to send it with that recommendation over to Licensed Order of Legal Affairs for their wisdom on to how to work the language to reflect what we want coming out of committee.
Thank you.
And it comes in front of the floor. Thank you.
Councilor O'Keefe, then Councilor
Through you,
Perry.
Mr. President. I'm troubled through you. I'm going to have another fight with the council from Ward 1 probably.
I'll never fight with your counselor.
He's bigger than I am. I'm troubled by the language that says in here that it's at 6% and that refer the matter to amend the ordinance. In other words, the committee of A&F is recommending to our committee, the Committee on Licensed Ordinances and Legal Affairs, that it's going to be amended at 6% and that it'll amend the ordinance to reflect whatever date that is at 6%, whatever. Is that true? I mean, through you?
Recommendation.
Well, it doesn't say that here.
The 6%
It's a
is
recommendation.
It's a recommendation.
Yeah.
Where does it say that here?
Down the bottom, adopt the
Adopt the
recommendation.
recommendation, right.
That's our recommendation. You can bat it around and do with it what you will, sir.
anything in the ordinance you can change.
But adopt a recommendation of the committee to go at 6%. Is that what you're saying?
They sent it as 6%, Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our committee, with the information and everything in front of us that we had at that time, knowing full well that it was going to get referred over to Licensed Order of Legal Affairs, because it's by ordinance that this body, all 11 of us, set the ordinance. So we knew that it was going to get referred over to Licensed Order of Legal Affairs. And at that point, as we've seen done before, at that point, if the will of the body is to go 5%, so be it. If the will of the body is to disconnect it totally from the mayor's salary and put just a flat fee on it, that's what we can do. But right now, with the information that came out of the committee meeting, our recommendation from the discussion that we had from the 5 members and 2 members of the committee as a whole that were there, our agreement was, at this time, it makes the most sense is to, as our salary is linked to the mayor's salary at 10%, we looked at it and says, our recommendation was, we'll link that compensation, and I use the word compensation because there's a difference, because when you look, as I did one night, I flipped through the school budget looking for the names of the individuals, and they're not listed, because right now they receive compensation, they get a 1099. You won't find their names in the ledger because they're compensated under a line item in the central office budget. That being said, to my good colleague from Ward 7, if the will of their committee is to amend the language, obviously that language can be amended on the floor when it comes out of committee. Right now, we're looking for the language to put it in place so it doesn't trigger A, healthcare, B, pension, and does what we came out of committee with. So that being said, it's just a recommendation.
Thank you, Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, if somebody else, I'll
All right, Councilor.
Mr. President, Councilor O'Keefe and I had the privilege of serving on the school committee for many years, and we considered it a responsibility. And we need to recognize and respect the role and responsibility of the school committee. Each is elected at large, like I am, a council at large. They put a great deal of time and research in fulfilling their responsibilities. The last time compensation for the school committee was in 1989, when I was on the school committee, and when Dr. Thomas Billings, who works at Salem State College, we put together that motion, that compensation. And now, 22 years later, we're looking at it to review it. It's been 22 years since that has been reviewed, and I'm very pleased that the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs will address this long overdue change. And I'm glad Councilor Lovely was instrumental in tying it to the mayor's salary. As a public service is a high calling, and it's a fair way of doing it. We see them at meetings, and we see them at numerous functions and school events. We need to offer an incentive to run for a 4-year office and tying it to the mayor's office in some way without health care benefits, retirement, other fringe benefits. And most of us don't take it, even on the city council. We don't take it. Health care benefits, retirement benefits, whatever. We don't take it. We just take the solo salary. So the mayor's salary makes it a fair, professional, practical way of addressing that situation. And a point of personal privilege, we do have Dr. Crane in the chambers. Would anybody mind to have her address her concerns and the time and effort she puts in?
After the council.
Okay.
Councilor Ronan.
Yes, Mr. President. I'm going to be very brief because I think that our chairman touched on anything that I really wanted to say. I wanted to make sure that our Ward 7 counselor was satisfied. When we kicked this around in the Committee on Administration and Finance, we had various concerns about what an increase in that compensation rate might do in terms of benefits and things like that. We had the benefit at the time of having the chairwoman of the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs there. So it was the recommendation of our body to Administration and Finance to send that over to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs so they could really answer some of those questions. And in doing that, we in no way wanted to tie the hands of the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, whether that be on the amount of the salary, et cetera. We really wanted them to vet it and find out exactly what that would mean, in terms of, triggering health care, pension rights, and things like that. So we are sending, the recommendation is that we send it over to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs with simply a recommendation, nothing binding.
Council Sosnowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. The only thing I would ask is I would ask Councilor McCarthy if he would amend this to refer it to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Further discussion? Councilor O'Keefe?
Through you, Mr. President, members of the council, I had the privilege of serving on the school committee 5 years. I know what their roles are. And it was worse then because the school system was bigger. And the school committee had more authority at that time than they do now. Superintendent runs the whole business now. Superintendent does an excellent job. The school committee does an excellent job. I'm not questioning the school committee. It's when I don't even know what the salary was when we ran. When I ran, 1975, God knows what it was. I didn't care. I wanted to serve in the school committee with your father, as I recall. So they should look at it positively. But the way things are going about 120 Washington Street and all the other problems, where are we going to get the money for all of this? And where about the other city workers? Who's going to speak up for them? They haven't had the department heads. Everybody else. What is going to be next? There's going to be a floodgate. What are we going to do then to the other people that is worthy and serving and need pay raises? What are we going to do then? We'll think about it. Committee, I'm sure, will think about this.
Thank you, Councilor O'Keefe.
Diligently.
Councilor Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a correction to the good at-large councilor across the way. I'm not a member of finance. It wasn't my recommendation to tie it to the mayor's salary. I took part in the discussion, but I didn't have any role in that, official role in that. So I just wanted to put that out on the record, that it wasn't my recommendation to tie it to the mayor's salary. We talked about it, but I didn't have a vote because I'm not on that committee. But the Committee on Ordinance, Licenses, and Legal Affairs will thoroughly vet this out. We'll make a recommendation back to the City Council. Thank you.
Councilor Sosnowski.
Real brief, just to answer Councilor O'Keefe's concerns back then, the compensation was zero.
Mr. President, move me to,
Move the question.
council consent, perhaps a doctor to speak on if she wants to speak. Councilor, the chairman of the committee so recognized if she would like to speak. She doesn't want to speak?
No, she's all set.
Move the question, Mr. President.
Okay. I'm going to move the question on adoption of the recommendation. All those in favor?
The amendment first, Mr. President.
The amendment to include co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, move to Ordinance License Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? Opposed? Further committee reports? Council McCarthy, sorry.
That's all right. I just stood up. I just expected it. That's fine. Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, City Council, March 10, 2011, the Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom was referred the matter of a revolving account for Winter Island, has considered said matter and recommend that the matter be discharged from committee.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
On discussion, Mr. President, this is an order that Councilor Pinto brought in as back when he was liaison to the Park and Rec Commission. There have been some ongoing discussions with regard to the possibility of creating a revolving account, potentially adding a surcharge to the campsites, maybe $1 a site, in order to generate some income that then in turn will be kept on the island in order to upgrade the campsites, different various concerns that then Mr. Hanger, who was the who ran Winter Island at that time. That being said, when Doug Boland really took a look at this, he manages a couple revolving accounts. The revolving accounts are a lot of work to manage and upkeep, and we had Rich Viscay, the finance director, in tonight. He says there's probably a cleaner way to do it within the way that the structure of the budget in order to address some of these needs. And for that matter, we have an ongoing discussion right now with a reuse study, not a reuse study, a master plan for Winter Island to try to come up with, what is the long-term plan for Winter Island. At that point, we may be looking at capital improvements to it. So at this point, Councilor Pinto recommended that this matter be discharged from committee, and if he wishes to speak on this, I would leave it to him.
Any further discussion? No further discussion. On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor?
Mr. President,
Councilor-
discharge from the committee with no recommendation, discharge with no action?
No action.
What are we looking for?
No action. No action. At this time, the committee is discharged from committee with no action with regard to creating a revolving fund for Winter Island. Thank you.
On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? Opposed? Further committee reports. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. City Council, March 10, 2007, the Committee on Administration and Finance, to who has referred the matter of the monthly, yearly financial reports dated, has considered said matter and recommend that these matters remain in committee.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
No discussion, Mr. President.
All those in favor? Opposed? Any further committee reports? None. Communications from city officials? None. Additions?
We have a communication from Nicholas Zakos, owner of the secondhand valuable license for Salem Used Furniture, 107 Bridge Street, informing council of store closing.
Council Lovely?
Move that it be received and placed on file.
Council Lovely moves it, he's received. Council Sosnowski?
No, after you do that, under discussion.
Council Lovely moves that be placed,
You told me
received
about
and placed
tomorrow.
on file.
Jeez, I have to change all my plans.
Under discussion.
I just briefly, Mr. President and Councilor Lovely, I just want everybody to be aware. I think by now there isn't a person in Salem and/or any surrounding community that doesn't know that Bridge Street is a war zone. I mean, there might as well be bomb craters up and down that street, and the impact on the stores is horrendous, to say the least. I mean, yeah, we can receive this and place it on file. It dies there. But I just want everybody to be aware, this business is the first of what I expect to be, what I hope not to be, but what I honestly think will happen is many more closing because of the impact of what's gone on there. And it's been horrible for the residences. It's been devastating to the businesses. It's just, the impact is just, you can't even measure it. I just want everybody to be aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Sosnowski. Okay, so any further discussion? Okay, Council Lovely moved that be received and placed on file. All those in favor? Opposed? Further petitions?
We have a request from the Wicked Running Club to hold a road race on Friday, July 15, 2011 at 8 p.m. and use of city streets.
You want to take this, Council McCarthy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Once again, the Wicked Running Club, in conjunction with Park and Rec Department, they do a lot of these events, is requesting another road race. The race itself is been approved by the police department. As I stated the last time, I just hope someone's tracking these things. So, because a lot of the road races end up going through my ward, and I understand that. I mean, it's a nice place to go running, and the race itself doesn't take a long time. Myself and some family members and some friends, we immensely enjoy some of the races that happen to run right by my house, especially on Thanksgiving morning. It's we make it into an event for ourselves. But at the same time, I've talked to Mr. Boland just to make sure that the people are aware of the fact that, yeah, it's nice to have a road race, but one on a Saturday, let's not have one on a Sunday, trying to limit to the weekends, and they're trying to do the job managing that and picking dates that seem to work. So I make a motion for approval.
Thank you. Any further discussion? We have members of the Wicked Running Club, I don't know if suspension of the rules, if they wish to talk. I don't know if they're in. there.
Move for suspension of the rules.
Suspension of the rules, Council Prevey, okay. You can come to the microphone.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to be before you. My name is Sharon Hewson. I am the co-president of the Wicked Running Club. And Allison Phelan is the other co-president of the Wicked Running Club. We are an established club in Salem. We hopefully bring a lot to Salem. We bring a lot to the residents. We are an all-encompassing club. Each one of our road races, this would only be our second. The other one is the Wicked Frosty 4, of which Allison and I were co-race directors, and we had a phenomenally successful race this year. That race is used exclusively for scholarships for students in the neighboring communities. Last year, we were privileged to give out 4 $1,000 scholarships. That's part of the mission of our club, is how can we benefit the community that supports and assists us. This race, we did, thank you, Council, for pointing out, we specifically looked at dates where it was not overloaded, to keep it as a new race, a genuine race. And our mission for this particular race is to provide funds to an area high school track club, because we know with all the budget cuts and funding cuts, we hope to give back to the community.
I agree. What my co-president said, and being born here in Salem, I would love to continue this tradition and, hope that you all approve of that.
Thank you.
Thank you for the great job you guys did.
Thank you.
Okay, on Councilor McCarthy's motion to approve the request of the Wicked Running Club to hold the road race on Friday, July 15th, 2011 at 8 p.m. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Further petitions?
We have a list of two public guides and a list of tag days.
Council Lovely.
Move they be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
Council Lovely moves that they be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs. All those in favor? Opposed? Further petitions?
We have 8 taxi operator licenses.
Council Lovely.
Move they be granted.
Council Lovely moves that the 8 taxi license be granted. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Further petitions?
We have 1 drain layer contract operator license.
Council Lovely.
Move it be granted.
Council Lovely moves that the drain layer contractor license be granted. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Further petitions?
We have a list of claims.
Council Lovely.
Move they be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
Council Lovely moves that claims be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Further petitions?
We have 2 constable bonds.
Council Lovely.
Move they be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs and return approved.
Okay, Council Lovely moves that the constable bonds be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, License, Legal Affairs, and returned approved. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Unfinished business?
We have second passage of an ordinance, amending an ordinance relative to elected officials receiving compensation from city after termination or resignation from office, Chapter 2, Section 2-278.
Council Lovely.
Mr. President, actually, this is actually Council
Council Pinto.
Pinto's.
Council Pinto.
I'll take it. Mr. President, thank you. Mr. President, I had brought this in some time ago, and what it pertains to is that in our ordinance book, we had an ordinance in there that said no elected official could receive any type of compensation or sit on a board that got compensation for a year until after they were out of office. And we brought it into Councilor Lovely's committee, License, Ordinance, and Legal Affairs, and we actually had a very, very good discussion. We felt that, well, I should say I felt, the reason I brought it in, I felt that being an elected official, a public official, we are basically city employees. We are public officials, but we're city employees. And for us to be exempt, not be able to maybe come back and serve the city in some capacity, regardless of if it was a paying job or not, but mostly that it was a paying job, that it would not be a good thing. And it was a very good committee discussion, and I hope some of my colleagues will weigh in on this, because we felt that us being elected officials, we go to all the public meetings, we go to all the boards, we're actually liaison to a lot of the boards. So we have a pretty good perspective as to what goes on in the city. Now, comes the time when we either don't get reelected or decide not to run, I felt that it was kind of unfair that we would have to wait a year should something come up. I just feel that, you know, in the position we're in and what we deal with, we have the resources. I think we have a lot to give back to the city. So when I brought this in, I had spoke to a few of my councilors about it, and we did. We had a very, very good discussion in committee. And a lot of councilors brought up good points. Councilor Sargent, Councilor Rowan, Councilor Prevey all brought up good points. And we passed it first passage. So I would at this time urge my colleagues not only to weigh in, but to vote this for second passage tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Pinto. Any further discussion? Seeing none, do you want, again? All those in favor? Opposed?
Wish to record opposed.
Councilor Keith and Councilor Fury wish to be opposed. Matter carries. Councilor Prevey.
Move for adjournment, Mr. President.
Prevey moves for adjournment. All those in favor? Opposed?
Descended upon people. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, Councilor Reno.
Councilor, what brings you out?
Hey,
Catch your
Matt.
papers, Councilor? Catch your papers.
But he's